She'll drive in the rain. It just, she may not even go to a car wash. It just don't look like it. Amen. But what are some fears that happen to you? Let me share with you. Number one, some of the fears that will happen to you, that happened to me. You go through sometimes what we call the fear of being forgotten. It's going to happen. The fear of being forgotten. These are things that Satan goes, ah! He puts that fear on you, scares you like that. Because you know you're a person who's up front. You're a person who's being known. You're a person who's been noticed. You've been complimented all the time on your smile, on your body, on your shape, on your eyes, on your hair, on your eyelashes, on the way you carry yourself, on your profession, on your dignity, on your pride, on your spirit, on all this stuff. And see, you're always getting all of this, all of this, all of this, all of this. And now, as a matter of fact, you are really seeing yourself differently because others have painted a wonderful picture of you, but now you don't hear it as much as you have heard it in the past. And so you start having a fear of being forgotten. A lot of times during my restoration process, I was preaching and teaching everywhere, and then all of a sudden I went through a shutdown period. I was just a young boy. I didn't ask to do this, but I didn't know I was made to do this. And so I started to wonder if God or anybody else remembered me, because sometimes you don't hear from anybody for a long time and you start to think nobody appreciates you. And then that's when you start going back out there in the world who don't know who you are, but they steal from you, kill you, and destroy you, while God seemed to have forgotten you, and the people of God don't know who you are anymore, and you sit yourself up in your own self-pity party because you have a fear of being forgotten. Started to think, did anybody remember all the good stuff I did? All the people that were blessed in my ministry? You can do 70,000 things right, and you can do one thing that appears to be wrong. Touch somebody and say, God will vindicate me. But until God proves your innocence, you stand in the court of public opinion and you are destroyed. Nobody cares about all the stuff you did. They've been waiting on somebody to come up with something that makes you appear to be wrong. What about the help that I've been given to others while I myself was healing? In this room, there are some of you, you don't even have time enough to deal with your own pain. You're still dealing with so many other people. You are blessing and being there for so many people, you can't even afford to be sick. What's going to happen if you get sick? Nobody cares. Hurry up and get better so you can take care of me. Hurry up and make some money so you can give me some more. You'll be all right. God's on your side. Did it matter to anybody, or was it true? When you're out of sight, you're out of mind. That's what was going on when I was going through my fear process. I feared that being out of the circulation in the ministry, because I was not preaching for a long time, meant that Rickie Rush would be out of the business as a minister. And so for 2 years, I've told this story sometimes to some of you, I was isolated. It had me questioning if anybody out there really even knew my name, let alone my address or where I was. And how was anybody else going to now know about me and know about my abilities? How could I ever start over again if nobody ever knew that I really existed? Now, I'm not saying all this was true, but when you're operating in fear by yourself, that's all the garbage that starts to be dumped in you. Then you start telling yourself, well, I know why it really was. It's because I'm black. It's because I gained weight. It's because I'm getting older. See, all this stuff, Satan didn't have to do anything because he gave you the thought and you start speaking it. Now you're getting blacker, you're getting older, and you're getting fatter, and you're getting sadder because you're saying it. And what you're trying to do sometimes is throw a hint so somebody can say, no, you're not, you're great. But Satan shut them off. The Lord calmed this fear with Hebrews 6:10. And then with Isaiah 49 and 14 through 16, I'll read it for you. I'll just read a straight word, and this is how it was fixed. Hebrews 6 and 10 said, for God is not unjust so as to forget your work. He don't forget it. And the love which you have shown toward his name. God doesn't forget it. God doesn't forget it. Every song you sing, every service you made, every door you stood by, every basket you held, every car you parked on that lot, every time you ran a camera, every time you walked with a cord in your hand, every time you played an instrument, every time you decorated a flower, every time you vacuumed the floor, every time you volunteered to sell a tape, every time you just decided, I'm going to stand out here and encourage a young person, I'm going to encourage a young woman, I'm going to encourage this couple over here, I'm going to encourage these people over here. God didn't forget it. You may not have had a title with it, and you may not have gotten a shirt for it, and they may not have had a position in your church for it yet, but if you did it, the Bible said that God has not forgotten, and having ministered and is still ministering to the saints, he put something in you that didn't maybe register as a committee, but you were a part of the team. And the Bible said, don't you think that they have forgotten you. They may have, but he has not. And because he has not, they have not. But fear makes you think that people have forgotten you. You've just matured enough now so that you don't have to be praised and hand clapped to do it anymore. I work my butt off. Don't look like it. That ain't how you go to God. And I don't mean to sound derogatory in that statement, but that's what we say. I want you to recognize the words that fear brings to your mouth. Because that's what we say when we think we've been forgotten. And that's when fear says, now you're powerless. Now you're not loved. And now you're losing your mind. Because you're talking like somebody else. That's how I got past it. I had to read the word for it. I'll read it one more time. For God is not unjust so as to forget your work and the love which you have shown toward his name. Now, if you did that on your own, God doesn't know anything about it. But if you did it in his name, you asked for his direction, and he inspired you. I talk to you all the time about people that used to come to me after church. Wonderful message, Reverend. Good job, Pastor Rush. That blessed my heart today. And that used to just inspire me so much. And those same people just disappeared. 5 weeks in a row. Good sermon, Reverend. Week 6, I'm waiting on them. They're gone. And it's not that they didn't mean to. Maybe maybe it wasn't a good sermon. Maybe it never was good in the first place. Maybe they just forgot. Or maybe they felt like somebody else said it. But at some point, you can't live on compliments. You can't read your own press. The second scripture that got me past this shaking in fear was Isaiah 49, 14 through 16 said, but Zion said, the Lord has forsaken me, and the Lord has forgotten me. Can a woman forget her nursing child and have no compassion on the son of her womb? Even these may forget, but I will not forget you. I will not. Behold, I have inscribed you on the palms of my hands. Your walls are continually before me. God says that he does not forget our work or our love for him. Other people might, but he will never forget us. Our names are written on God's palms. Every time he looks at his palms, he sees your name. He sees my name. That's remembering me. And when I found out that when I got up this morning, I was on God's mind, wrote my name in his palms of his hands.